Media.
The time is just gone 12 minutes past 8 a.m. as we kick off this morning. The big story this morning, we're talking about Hajj 2022. We've got Shazia Moosa, who has written an open letter to Sahuk and feeling aggrieved, feeling very, very confused. And she was a candidate in 2020 to go for Hajj, and this was during the time of the pandemic. And we know that people couldn't go to Hajj at that point in time, and there's just so much that has been written with regards to Sahuk and how Sahuk has managed this accreditation. And we know at this point in time, 1,132 Hujjaj have been accredited. And at that point in time, we were talking of numbers of around 3,500. So we are joined now, and this interview is coming to you live on Salam Media, on the Facebook, and also on the YouTube channel. So you can actually view this interview when you log onto the Salam Media pages, both on Facebook and on YouTube. Sister Shazia, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you, and welcome.
Walaikum salam. Jummah Mubarak to you too. Jazakallah for having me.
Yes. Well, Sister Shazia, I've actually written your letter. You've penned this letter, an open letter to Sahuk. And if you could just take us through the motivation behind the letter, because it is clear that you are aggrieved. And also, there seems to be a lot of confusion as far as the management of the accreditation goes.
So I'm actually one of the 3,500, myself and my husband, who were accredited to go for Hajj in 2020. So obviously it was our first time being accredited to go for Hajj. And when we got the news of COVID, we had no choice. We couldn't go for Hajj. There was no option of deferring. It was basically Hajj was cancelled. We were given no choice. Once we were told by agents and operators that once Hajj opens, we could either leave our money with them and we'll be going for Hajj once Hajj opens with the agents. After that, we obviously were one of the people who decided to have our monies refunded. Along with many other people I know who were in the 3,500. And as you can see on social media, a lot of people are still posing questions to Sauk about their money that's sitting with agents. And I think this stems mainly from that as to why are those 3,500 people who were supposed to go for Hajj not given preference, or that list given preference now when Hajj is opened up. So why is 1,132 people of that 3,500 not given preference to go? And this is where my letter has stemmed from. Being a first-time Haji and looking at the entire process from a South perspective, I'm looking at the process holistically. It's not an attack on South. I am honestly confused at the entire process, and I would like to understand the process from South's perspective. I've read on South's website that the point system, I myself knew when I applied, should I defer, I would be reduced, I would get 30 points deducted. And obviously from that, I understood that a deference would mean I'm deferring in case of an emergency. Maybe I had an illness, or I was a pregnancy or a death. So I was allowed 3 deferences. And my understanding was that I would put my name on the list when I'm ready to go for Hajj. I would not put my name on the list if I'm not financially ready to go for Hajj, so that I could just defer and keep my name on the list inevitably and then call Sauk after 3 deferences the day I'm ready to go for Hajj. That was my understanding of why a point system was in place. So that's how I could cancel my application after 3 deferences and I would have to reapply. Now when I look, when I question Sauk on social media, Instagram, Facebook, I'm told that these accredited from 2009 and 2010, where I'm able to see on the 2018, 2019 accredited lists that they have been deferring for 3 consecutive years. They get to go in 2022 above the given priority before the 3,500 who were accredited and had no choice due to COVID, is because they were in a parked state. There's no mention of a parked state in SAUC's terms and conditions. So why are these sort of things changed? I would like to understand from SAUC's perspective what is going on. Where is the the legal responsibility held? Who holds out responsible for them just changing processes as and when they feel like it? I've worked in a corporate background for 9 years, and this is why I would like to understand, where's the legal liability? I understood the South copied processes from Malaysia with the date and time priority process. I wanted to understand from South, what are they doing with regards to the COVID 2020 Hajis, the accredited Hajis? Are they not going for Hajj also? What have they done with them? And finally, I think my final view on this is there's a lot of campaigns going around. Let's say South must fall. There's a lot of negativity around South currently. There's a lot of backlash that South is getting, right? There's Semtoa, where operators are complaining. There's threatening bodies coming up along. And when I look at it, Hajj is a fifth pillar of Islam. And from my perspective, as a young Muslim, trying to fulfill my fifth pillar of Islam, South is supposed to be to me a body who makes it easier for me to fulfill my fifth pillar of Islam. Not there for any other reason. And if the people who they are fulfilling this pillar for, if it was so difficult or people were having an issue with it, why would they not, put it back in the hands of the people? Why would it be so difficult to say, take the power back if you'll have an issue with it? If the people are having an issue and complaining and there's so much negativity around this, take the power back. Go directly with operators. Apply for a Mujamala visa directly at the Saudi embassy and go directly. If you'll end up on the pavements, if you lose money, like they've said in many interviews, then so be it. Learn your lesson and understand why South is necessary. But this is not the case. What we're seeing is a lot of fights and a lot of comments and a lot of standing up. And I want to understand why.
Yes. Now, obviously, there are a number of issues, and you are questioning Sahuk and its policy as well, Sister Shazia. And one of the issues that you are raising is the question of audits as well. What are the auditors looking at? Are they looking at the payment date? Are they looking at the date, the application that is shown on the system? And because, all of this ties in with the issues that you have raised, because even with going back to applications from 2009, 2010, 2011, why are they taking preference if they were supposed to be cancelled? So it is clear that you've raised a number of issues where you are actually questioning Sahuk and the policy of accreditation.
To be quite honest, I've asked them various times on social media, who are the auditors? Are they independent auditors? Do they have the necessary qualifications to perform these audits? In big companies, you have internal auditors and external auditors. So yes, you can perform an internal audit, but you also need to have an external audit performed. Are these happening at South? because we as the public need to be assured that we are treated fairly when it comes to fulfilling our fifth pillar of Islam. And if you are purely doing this as an NPO for no monetary gain, you are doing this purely for the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala. We need to be assured of that as the public, that this is the pure reason Sauk has been formed.
Yes. Now, the other issue that you have raised is about it's not what you know, it's who you know. And you make mention of incidents where people can get their name on the accreditation list just by knowing someone at a Sahuk. And also at the same time, you raise questions with regards to the abuse of the system, Sister Shazia.
Chief, I myself, I don't want to name people, as I don't want to you know bring anybody's name down. In Islam, I don't think there is something I should be doing, but I myself know of people I could go and speak to get my name on the list. Um, I could have went that route, but I've chosen to rather speak up against this sort of um, behavior with South. I know personally people who have put their names on the list and have gone for Hajj when their names have not been on the accreditation list.
So that obviously that is quite problematic, and once again, we will be giving Sahuk obviously the right of reply after we have this interview with you. Just looking at this letter that you've written, what sort of responses have you been getting? Because I'm sure this letter has now gone viral, and many people have had an insight. Are you getting any feedback, any responses?
I actually have first given the letter to you guys, and I'm first giving South a response time before I actually send this letter viral.
Okay, okay. So you send this to, and have you had any acknowledgements from Sahuk that they've received your letter?
None. I've actually tried to call South first before I contacted you. I've tried to contact Muaz several times, and I had no response or no call back.
Right. And just the one other issue I'd like to talk about is the question surrounding business cash flow and funds, because you raise that issue as well. It's, and you're talking about guarantees as far as Hujjaj is concerned. Their money is protected. And earlier on, you spoke about in 2020 when those that were accredited to go for Hajj that paid the money over to the operators. And here again, you are talking about ensuring that there are guarantees. And we know a few months ago there was this huge debacle where many people obviously hadn't got their money back as well. So this again is another sticky point, Sister Shazia.
Definitely. So yeah, again, the problem is in 2020, many of us, I told you, when COVID hit, our agents gave us the option to say, leave your money with us, and when Hajj opens up, your Hajj is paid for. Or you can cancel without and we refund you your money. So the thing is now, South is saying that these operators should be able to fund Hajj deposits. So if hotels in the kingdom request that deposits be paid to secure your hotel bookings, those deposits should not be paid from the Haji's funds that the Haji pays over to the travel operator. Those should actually be paid from the travel operator's cash flow, business cash flow. So if we look at the numbers, for example, in 2020, if 800 or 1,000 people were going with one agent, and one agent should have had sufficient cash flow to fund all those deposits requested from the hotels. We look at that, that's huge cash flow numbers for one business to have. So my question here to South, these four operators that they are saying are credited, are they telling us that these four operators have more than sufficient cash flow available to fund all deposits which would be requested by the kingdom? So are they guaranteeing that should, and we can see right now our COVID numbers are rising. If COVID or any lockdowns do happen in this period before Hajj does happen, are they guaranteeing that money will definitely be given back? Money will be refunded by these four operators because no monies will be paid from the Haji's funds. Are they guaranteeing that this time round?
Yes, and just finally, we have got to a stage, sadly, where we are looking at a number of 1,132, and the preference that you speak about in terms of first time Hajis that need to be given preference. And we see this in many countries right across the entire world where people will get to a stage where only once in their lifetime they may be able to go for Hajj because we know that there are huge numbers. And especially looking at it in the South African context, a Muslim Ummah that is just in excess of 2 million, and we're talking of 1,100 this year. Now, one can just imagine going forward, even if these numbers get increased to 2.5 or 3,000, whatever. But at the end of the day, people are going to wait a very, very long time before they actually go for Hajj, Sister Shazia.
Definitely. So, from what we understand, the answer or the response we given all the time is it's based on the census that we do. It's given 1,000 per million Muslims. Uh, what I don't seem to understand is the relationship built with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Similar to the relationship that the UK or the deal that the UK has struck. I don't understand why South Africa cannot build a relationship with the UK. I do not understand why we could not have an open ended relationship where perhaps if maybe 10,000 people are ready to go, Saudi decides, or we apply for 10,000 visas, but only Saudi approves 5,000. We have a different system. Why do we not propose alternative measures instead of just accepting what we are given, knowing that our list is growing rapidly every single year? But like I say, if nobody stands up to this, it will continue, and I think something needs to be done. It's not just Hajj is not just something simple, something that we can just let go. Hajj is a fifth pillar of Islam, and it's something that if we are ready to perform, we need to ensure we perform it. And if South is what is standing in our way to perform our Hajj, then we need to find an alternate way to perform our Hajj. So this is what I think we as Muslims need to stand up, and we need to fix all these issues. And I think South needs to open up their minds. They need to come to the party, and they need to start being more transparent and being more open to changing their processes and assisting the Ummah to fulfill their pillar. They need to understand this is not a job, it's not a day job, it's an actual important pillar of Islam for us Muslims.
Well, Sister Shazia, we're going to be interviewing Shaheen Esop shortly in the next few minutes. But for now, Jazakallah khairan so much for your time. I'm sure you will be listening in, and I'm sure you want the right of reply. And let's hear what the president of Sahuk has to say after this. But for now, we thank you. We say Jazakallah khairan for coming on, talking to us this morning, and we wish you all the best. Have yourself a wonderful Jummah, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. You too. Jazakallah inayat. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Shazia Moosa aggrieved, and she was a 2020 Hajj candidate. She's penned this open letter to Sahuk. We will be giving Sahuk the right to reply. We come back. We'll be joined by the president of Sahuk, Shaheen Esop.